Hi everyone, it's Hawthorne Sagebrush again, and welcome to week 7, the actual week 7. Sorry though, again, last week, the whole issue. I'm filming this right after the last one, but I want to separate them, I like having the separate videos. Anyway, this week 7 is on, what are my thoughts on sacred texts and mythologies? First off, I think they're fascinating. I obviously have a religious studies major. If you watched any of my videos, you probably know this. I have a degree that is double majored in English and religious studies, so religious texts and sacred texts are fascinating to me. I love it. But the thing is, with paganism, there's not a lot of sacred texts. It's mostly borrowing from other cultures, like other cultures' texts, or working off of mythologies, which I think are awesome also. I love mythology. Specifically, I used to love Egypt, like Egyptology, like Egypt mythology. I don't work with any Egyptian gods, but that was like my favorite thing to read as a kid. Not even Greek, which like everyone like from my school loved Greek mythology, but me, I was just like, yes, Egypt, Egypt, yes. Anyway, the sacred text that I work with the most right now, or like ever in my life actually, is the Bhagavad Gita, because as I've said before, I come from a Krishna consciousness background in my religious, not upbringing, because my parents weren't Krishna conscious, but like that's like the first thing I really latched onto was Krishna consciousness. So I do work a lot with the Bhagavad Gita. I think it's fascinating. I think it has a lot of great lessons and things like that, and that's what I think about pretty much all sacred texts and mythologies is you can't really take it literally. I mean, God mythologies, you could take it literally, but when it comes to like the Bible and things like that, it doesn't, even if all of that stuff did actually happen, it doesn't apply to our, like, taking it literally does not apply to our current cultural standpoint, because things change, people change, gods change. For example, Bridget and Lou used to hate each other in the mythologies. They don't work well together, but I have found personally they work amazing together in my own personal practice, and so many other people have found that too. And that was a lesson that I learned this Beltane, because the person who called, the god and goddess who called Bridget and Lou, called them with a story, and the story was about change. And everyone changes. Our gods are not the unchanging gods of old. They change, they evolve, they're different. People change, things change, cultures change, situations change. So taking things from thousands of years ago and applying them literally to today does not work. It just can't work. It hurts more people than it helps. So I find taking the lessons from those mythologies is what we want in our lives. So there's a lot of amazing lessons in the Bhagavad Gita that I can take. And there's a lot of amazing lessons in the Bible even. Like, I haven't read a lot of the Bible, really. I've read all of Genesis, and I've read all of Exodus, and I've read some of I don't remember the name of the book, but it's where they're like, in paradise, the lion will lay with the lamb, something, something. I don't know. Someone in the comments below. Anyone know? I don't know. I used it for an essay I wrote. Anyway. So I think most sacred texts can give us a lot of great lessons, which is why I kind of collect sacred texts, to be honest. I'm looking for a good Quran right now. Haven't been able to find the translation I've been looking for that isn't like ridiculously expensive. But yeah, I collect a lot. Like, I have a Book of Mormon, for goodness sake. I collect sacred texts because I think there's something we can learn from them. It gives us an insight to a culture. It gives us insight to someone else's beliefs. And it also can give us insight on our own beliefs. When you read critically. Ask yourself, why am I having this reaction? If you feel negatively or positively even towards a thought, ask yourself, why do I feel that way? I do that all the time thanks to my freaking liberal arts degree. And that's kind of why I'm happy I found paganism after starting school. Because if you saw Hazel Autumnwood's latest video, she talks about reading critically and how it's important, and how when she first started out, she found Wicca and wasn't really critically reading, critically thinking when she was looking at this information. And yeah, when you're younger and you don't know how to read critically and how to dissect those kind of things for yourself, you could take a word as gospel, so they say. And I don't like that. I like knowing why I believe something. So, yeah, I just know that what I believe, like, I know what I believe, and I know that's kind of how, again, that's how I found my religious path, is I kind of wrote down what I believed, and I found the path that matched those beliefs. I didn't match my beliefs to the path, and that's why I find, like, eclectic paganism with a dash of Krishna consciousness works for me. And also druidry, but that's, I still don't know if druidry's for me. But I'm reading and I'm learning, and I'm really excited to learn, because that's me. I'm a giant fucking nerd. Pardon. I'm a French. But yeah, my feelings on sacred texts and mythologies, they're great. Read them. Read as much as you can. Just, like, digest everything. Just take it all in, digest it, and spit it back out. Like, just kind of figure things out. Question everything. Like, maybe apply some of it to your life. What are the lessons? What are the lessons here? A good example of what I mean by not taking things literally, too, is the parables. Come on, guys. The parables. Like, it's not... They're not literal. They're not literal things. That's the point of the parables, is there's a message. There's a lesson to be learned. And I kind of look at it that way from every, like, verse of any sacred text. Any chapter, verse, whatever. There's a lesson to be learned. And maybe the lesson you're learning is that it doesn't work for you because of X, Y, and Z. And that's okay. So, sacred texts, mythologies, love them, read them, then think critically about them. Don't just adopt things for the sake of adopting things. Thank you guys so much for watching. Blessed be.